their first lead tonight. Bell, a late arriving Barry for three. Rajah Bell. Shaq and Nash with the reverse. In the quick outlet caught by Rajah Bell, who is so important for this Phoenix team. Look at the hustle of Stoudemire. Nash for three. Good. Nash puts in the triple.
Welcome to Planet Orange. NBA TV Real Training Camp. Phoenix Suns from the U.S. Airways Center is on the air. They got a brand new coach, Terry Porter, and they got a brand new style, defense. Amari Stoudemire wearing the goggles. We'll tell you about his eye injury, give you an update on that. Steve Nash, two-time MVP in the house. He was the first one out here warming up. And, of course, the big fella, ever-present, Shaquille O'Neal, stretching out and getting ready for the practice here today. The final practice for the Phoenix Suns before their first preseason game coming up here tomorrow night against the Atlanta Hawks. And we welcome you to our broadcast position here at the U.S. Airways Center. Rick Kamla alongside Eddie Johnson, and he is going into his 9th season as the TV analyst for this great franchise. And Eddie, you know, it's a new beginning. Mike D'Antoni's gone. Terry Porter is in. Shaquille O'Neal said he guarantees that this team will not lose in the first round again. And that is the goal. Play defense and get beyond the first round and hopefully win a championship.
Rick, this team is built to win. And this team has won the last 4 years. They just didn't get all the way to the pot of gold. But they have a great nucleus. And then the addition of Terry Porter, a new philosophy, a new way. And they're adjusting to it. And they're feeling good about the progress of this team so far.
And I talked to assistant coach Alvin Gentry, who was with D'Antoni, stays here and stays with the new regime, and Terry Porter. I said, what is the number one thing to getting your team to make those strides defensively? He said he didn't talk X's and O's or individual players. He just said it was an attitude. They just got to go out and play defense with verve every single night.
Attitude, effort, belief in one another, paying attention to detail. They are athletically good enough to be a solid defensive basketball team. They just have to come with it every night, and then the mindset will allow them to be in a comfortable position every game. And I think that's where Terry Porter would love to get them right now.
And Terry Porter, had a couple of good years with Milwaukee. When you take a look at the Bucks, they haven't made the playoffs since they fired Terry Porter. I was not a fan of that decision. I am a fan of Terry Porter. We actually got to spend a year with him as an analyst on NBA TV. The last 2 years as an assistant coach, the top assistant with the Detroit Pistons. And I'm just psyched for a good guy, Terry Porter, to get this great opportunity with a championship contender.
Well, a quality basketball player when he played for the Trailblazers and a number of other teams. And he built his personality on hard work and being a great leader, and he's carried that over. Didn't get the great chance in Milwaukee, but now he gets a great opportunity here with the Phoenix Suns with Steve Kerr as general manager, who believes in him, and I think that's key for Terry Porter. And also some veteran players here that they're at the end of their career. They want to win, and they're going to listen to everything Terry Porter throws at them. So this scenario for Terry Porter to coach is the best scenario he could have dreamed of, other than the one, obviously, that he missed out in Milwaukee.
I mean, the talent level on this team compared to those teams in Milwaukee is night and day. It's not even close. And Terry Porter, first year in Milwaukee, took him to the playoffs. The second year, remember, T.J. Ford missed the entire season. And then Terry got unceremoniously dumped. And just a really curious decision by that front office. And good to see Terry Porter. He is the 13th head coach in Suns history, 17-year playing career. Yes. And Steve Kerr said when deciding through a lot of really worthy candidates for this position, he wanted a coach with head coaching experience and somebody who could command the respect of his players. And I think Terry Porter fits both of those bills.
Yeah, and the respect is more huge than anything, because this is a veteran team, and they've had a number of coaches, and they're going to listen to a guy that they respect. And Terry Porter is that type of guy. He didn't win a championship as a player, but he got there a lot of times with great effort and with great leadership of great teams. And I think that's key for this basketball team. And a lot of these guys remember him as a player, and that's going to carry over as well.
And you see Thunder Dan Marley used to be a broadcaster like you and I. Of course, a fantastic playing career with the Phoenix Suns and also the Miami Heat. Now he's an assistant coach along with Alvin under Terry Porter, and they've got a great staff. Also, Bill Cartwright and Igor Kokosov. He's formerly of the Detroit Pistons.
A great combination in that, because players like stories, and Dan Marley will be able to give guys stories. They will listen to him because they know he went through it and understands it. Bill Cartwright has won championships. He understands what it takes to get there. He played with the greatest ever, arguably the greatest ever, because, you know, Magic's still a favorite of mine. But
me too.
But still, he played with Michael Jordan. He saw him work every day, and those are the people that you want to be around. And then Alvin Gentry's put a lot of years in this league, a quality coach, understands everything. So they have a great combination.
And, you know, it's kind of funny. It's a coincidence, possibly even ironic, that yesterday this Real Training Camp tour took us through Terrytown, New York. Mike D'Antoni's new team, the New York Knicks. We saw Dan D'Antoni. We saw Phil Weber, a couple of longtime assistants with D'Antoni here in Phoenix. And, of course, now we're in Phoenix, Mike D'Antoni's old stomping grounds, with a new regime here. That's how the NBA works. And Steve Nash, two-time MVP. I talked to him. He's 34 years old. He's feeling great. He's ready to go. He's ready to do whatever Terry Porter wants to get that defensive mentality going and to get this team to a championship.
Steve Nash is one of the best conditioned athletes I've ever seen, especially on a basketball court. Age does not matter when it comes to Steve Nash. As we saw early on, the first guy on the court this morning before practice, and that's a normal occurrence. I mean, this guy has totally been focused on the game of basketball and this team since he's been here, and they've had a ton of success. And they're not going to go any further without Steve Nash being the guy that he is. His role is going to change this year. He's not going to push the ball as much. They're not going to depend on him as much offensively, but I think it frees him up to do what he does better than anybody, I think, in the NBA, and that's shoot the basketball from mid-range, and he's going to get a ton of opportunities in this new offense.
And Steve Nash won a pair of MVP awards. One of those was a very tight vote over Shaquille O'Neal, who won an MVP with the Lakers back a few years ago. And let's listen into the big fella who is always entertaining.
Y'all speak, what other language y'all speak? Slovenian? Is that like Russian?
Yeah, similar.
Similar?
I won't be able to get out that, but I'll get it.
The motherfucker Hollywood Hope mustache, don't you?
You always stand up. Watch that, Fred. All right, line up over here behind the speed bike.
Go high knees, 2 knees, straight ahead.
The camera's on, so much. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Big Raj. All right, baby. Let's get pumped up, baby. It's called marketing, people. Go with me. Go with me.
Who's gonna ride with?
We all get paid, understand it.
Shaquille O'Neal is going to hold court here for a couple of hours, and I think we're going to appeal to our bosses to see if we can extend the window of our broadcast from Phoenix just to give you that much more of Shaquille O'Neal. And he's just a pleasure to be around. He's in his second year here with the Phoenix Suns, but of course last year was abbreviated, came here right around the All-Star break. And how key is it to have Shaq here, you know, for a full training camp and for a full season? And Eddie, what do you think his role will be this year? Do you think he took a little bit of a back seat last year and maybe he'll exert himself a little more as a leader this year?
You know, Shaq came in the middle of the year and he fit in quite nicely with this group. I mean, he was quiet initially, he worked his way in. He didn't come in and try to command attention and command space. But one of the things that I noticed right away about him, he's so quick-witted. He's a very nice guy. It wasn't unheard of for him to break out into a rap on the team playing by himself. I mean, you know, he is just a fun-loving individual, and he came here with a purpose to help this team win, and he tried to fit in last year. And I envision him this year to be very much the same as he's been throughout his career, in that this offense will be tailored toward he and Amari in terms of getting the ball inside. So I look for his touches to really go up. His minutes probably won't be as huge as they were last year, but I think the production will be good because he will get a lot of touches early on.
And as you saw in that graphic, the only two stats that decreased, among the stats that we showed you, that decreased after Shaq were assists because they didn't run as much, and it was more sort of pounded down low to Shaq and Amari, and turnovers per game. And I'm curious as to your theory on that, but the points per game were up, the rebounds were up, and this team played fantastic ball with Shaq. Based on the fact that it all came together mid-season, and were it not for that Tim Duncan 3 buzz-killing things, who knows how far the Suns would have gone.
All due respect to Sean Marion, who I thought was fabulous for this team. He's a good friend of mine. I think he, before it's all said and done, his number should be retired as a Phoenix Sun. But the Suns were being destroyed in a couple of areas. One, interior defense. Guys were killing them inside. Duncan averaging 30 a game. I mean, Perkins for Minnesota averaging 30, 15 rebounds. They had to get it shored up. When they picked up Shaq, it all changed. Teams did not score as easily inside. Teams were not getting offensive rebounds. So he changed the culture of what they were negative in before the trade, and I thought it was huge. And in order for them to win, they have to win that way. And the only team that has beaten them 3 out of the 4 years that they have to be built for is San Antonio. And I think with that, the addition of Shaq and improvement of Amari Stoudemire puts them right there.
Now, Eddie, some people throw around the soft thing. I don't think the Suns were soft because if you're soft, you're not clutch.
Right.
Okay? Were the Suns physical before Shaq? No, they weren't. But to me, soft is not physical and not clutch. The Suns definitely were not that. They've always been a clutch team. But Shaq gives them a guy that can knock somebody on the butt. And I think in playoff basketball, as I like to say, hatred is healthy. And you got to get physical. You maybe have to take a flagrant foul to send a message. That is playoff basketball. And Shaquille O'Neal obviously is a guy that can do that. The rookie Brook Lopez is not going to be afraid to throw his weight around either.
He's an enforcer. I mean, players are scared of him. They're afraid of him. I was when I first played against him. I mean, the guy is humongous. I mean, who wouldn't be? And if he gets mad, it gets even worse. And the Suns needed that. Toughness is one thing, but being a physical, dominant presence is another. And that's what Shaquille O'Neal is. And it's going to be huge this year. With them having him for a full year, it is going to be huge.
And Eddie, it's time to send it back down to the third member of our broadcast team, the Diesel.
You got it out.
Come on, Rosh, make me look good.
Make sure we get a little too long. Go, let's go. Get loose. Ready? Four passes. Four. Loose. Let's go. Three passes. Starting to stretch it out now, No mistakes. Wide now, wide.
Baby.
Let's go. Three passes.
Wide, Robert, good, Robert, good, Robert.
Legs. Young legs.
Outside, Sean.
Young legs.
Get outside, outside.
He's only 18.
Outside.
Check out the form as I run up the court. My form like Usain Bolton. That's his name? Olympic.
Usain track, right?
No, yeah, what's his name? Usain Bolton? Yeah, check out the form. Excuse me, coach, you're messing up the form.
Ready to get outside. Two passes. Two passes. Yeah, I can go.
I'm like Usain Bolton on that form. Huh?
Get out.
That form.
Let's go. Who's up?
Give him a good pass, Louis. Make him look good, Louis.
Let's go.
Way to stretch out, boy.
Last one, let's go.
Way to stretch out, boy.
Okay, right here now. We want to cover the segment here. We want to just cover some defensive situations we may face. First is going to be a 2X position. All right, let's have the white group with the ball up top. You're going to be white.
What am I,
All
black?
right, you're black. Black is Steve, Raja, Grant, Boris, Shaq, Sean, and Collins. Everybody else white. Let's just get in our floppy set, get in the floppy punch, just to walk through it. Let's go. Floppy punch. Cross underneath, screen, swing. 2X now, 2X. He's going to throw it in, get a dribble. Dribble, 2X position. Work on trapping. Ball's going to be skipped out. Swing, swing. Small's going to go. You stay, Shaq.
All right.
Come back, stand in the post, stand in the post. All right. Let him catch it. You're going to get another trap. 2X. Boom. Trap, swing it, kick out, boom. This scenario, when the small is rotating like this, we want you to chase out to the corner. Keep the big on the big. All right, let's walk through it one more time. Make sure we're clear on it.
Trapping what?
Anything out of floppy?
Just practice. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just walk floppy. Let's walk through floppy again. Any type of screen. 2X now, 2X, 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 2X. Dribble, one dribble, 2X in, boom, throw it out, boom. All right, going in. All the way up. Work your way down a little bit. Work your way down in that corner. All right? Clear on that? On the dribble. I'm doing the dribble first. All right? Stay space. Stay space. Offense, stay in space. Bigs are standing in the box. All right, start with floppy. We're just coming, we're gonna work out a different couple sets. Start with floppy. Work it now, work it. Talk. Go. Get off. Get out. Go again, go again. Weak side, talk. One more, last one. Good. Back up top. Great. Flip it over, flip it over, flip it over. Here we go. Who's going? Let's get to talking now. We gotta say I'm going. Who's 2Xing? Get out. Hold. So get back in there. Get back in there. Get back in the trap. It's always the guy who comes trapping. So he's coming. Boom, ball's kicked out. He's going. All right? Clear on that? If you're in a 2X position, you go down and trap, ball is kicked out, and you got to turn and rotate to the corner. Every time you're going to be running, going all the way out to the corner. All right? Here we go. Start with floppy. Start it down. Let's get a little floppy action. Go. Let's go. Come high. Start again. There you go. Start from the top. Starting floppy. Go. Rotate. Go. Good. Get another one. Come back. Guys, let's make sure we're clear on this rotation. Guys, your only responsibility coming out here now is turn and go in the corner. You shouldn't be
Terry Porter and the Phoenix Suns just warming up here at the U.S. Airways Center in downtown Phoenix. It's NBA TV Real Training Camp, Phoenix Suns, and we come back at you right after this brief timeout. Please stay with us. NBA TV Real Training Camp back on the air from the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, Arizona. The Phoenix Suns under our microscope today. Yesterday it was the Knicks. Today it's the Suns. In a couple of days we've got the Nugs, and let's get you back to practice.
Now we got to be talking. Listen. Hold on just a minute. Weak side, guys. You should be talking. My trap. We got to be communicating that. Floppy punch. Two traps. Catch it in the box. Oh! Catch it in the box. We wouldn't trap that far out. No, it's too far out. Let him catch it in the box. Now you got to go. First dribble. Until you come. All right? Floppy punch. Two traps. Yeah, the bigger guy. Yeah. Switch it.
Oh, right under his arm, maybe 7-13.
Floppy punch.
Nice out. Come on.
Line now, play. Attack. Box out. Good job. Loop now, loop punch. Still want two traps. Loop punch. Bend down on the weak side. Punch. Just looping up punch. Got it. Yeah, he's going. If he comes up, you pin down. You're going to pop up, Grant. Okay? Go. trap. Get another one. Okay, live now. Live. No middle, no middle. Good job, good job. Guys, let's cover one situation in the post. Now, let's have a big, Coleman's here. Steve has trapped, and we got balls over here. Say balls over here. Steve has come down. He's got caught with a big. He's caught with a big on him now, right? He's caught with a big on him, and a big come down and double. Steve's gonna kick out. Yeah, after he passes. With a small, will kick out in that scenario. All right? And keep a big on a big. No. Yes. Loop punch. Loop punch. Go this side. Loop punch. Start up. Start up. Good, good. Good, good. No middle, no middle. Good, 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 Josh, good.
And with that defensive play, we bring you back to our broadcast position. Rick Hamlet, Eddie Johnson here for NBA TV Real Training Camp. Happy to have you with us here on a Tuesday from Phoenix. And it's an unlikely source for a great quote, but Alondo Tucker, who's trying to make this rotation in his second year out of Wisconsin, said, and I quote, "Our main focus is defense. That's going to be the theme all year," end quote. And before, they huddled up before practice, it was 1, 2, 3 defense, and we're seeing them work on defense out here.
Right, and that's what they're going to work on a lot this year, which is unique for them because most of the time it was offense, probably 80% offense and then 10% defense. And so it's a unique situation. Talking to Terry Porter before practice, he even said that it's been an adjustment for them. You know, he had them doing defensive slides consistently in practice, and although he knew that they were having a tough time with it, they continued to do it. And it's all about repetition. I remember going to Seattle when George Karl took over, and I wasn't the guy that really thought a lot about defense, but I was on a team that had great defenders, and Nate McMillan and Derek McKee and Sam Perkins, and it just becomes infectious. I mean, when you continue to work on it every day, and I can't leave out Gary Payton, obviously, who's one of the better defenders ever, but when you're on a team like that, it becomes infectious, and you just want to work at it, and I think this team has to evolve that way.
And Eddie, you know, the ingredients might be there. You know, we'll find out. But you look at the stats from last year. This team gave up 45.6% from the field. That's not that bad. And 35% from three-point range. That's not that bad. Now, they did give up 105 points a game, but they did have a +5 point differential. And Mike D'Antoni always talked about, I'm not worried about points per game against. I'm worried about percentage against, number of possessions, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like they were a bad defensive team last year. They do have something to build on.
Well, you know, effort was there, no doubt about it. I mean, this team has tremendous effort. They have shown that over the last 4 years. You don't have the type of record that they have had and second guess their effort. It wasn't that. It was just playing with a smartness on defense, with really backing up your teammates, understanding what you need to take away. All of those things I felt was missing for the most part, and that's something that has to improve this year. And if it does, and they can continue the same offensive rhythm, they're a very difficult team to beat.
And in the Western Conference, it is just loaded once again. It continues to improve. And Phoenix Suns, first-round bow out last year. It's not going to be any easier this year for the Phoenix Suns to make their move in the playoffs. And for the Phoenix Suns, we take a look at the last 4 seasons under Mike D'Antoni and how it has gone for them. 0-4-0-5 to lose in the conference finals. The next year, again, a loss in the conference finals, and it's gotten progressively worse from there. 0-6-0-7, they lose in the second round. And last year, of course, the Tim Duncan 3 and a 4-1 bow out at the hands of the San Antonio Spurs.
And 3 of those losses were to the San Antonio Spurs, and that is a team in the Western Conference that they have had a difficult time beating. And we've seen historically this happen happen to a number of teams. I mean, we saw the Bulls have to get over the dominance of Detroit. We saw Detroit have to get over the dominance of Boston. So it's a rhythm to it, and they have to find a way. The Spurs have been that team for them that put up the block wall, and they have to find a way. And now they're built for it. With Shaquille O'Neal and Amari Stoudemire, that presence on the front line makes them very difficult to beat, and will match up against who I think right now is the best team in the West, the Los Angeles Lakers, with Bynum and Paul Gasol.
And a moment ago, you saw Steve Kerr. He runs this franchise, a former San Antonio Spur. Terry Porter, now the head coach, a former San Antonio Spur. They played together, and Steve obviously trusts Terry, and Terry is the man in charge on the court. And let's go back to him right now.
Good drop. Gotta get there quicker. Gotta get there quicker. All right, run that again, run that again. Not going, it's live after that. It's live. So you gotta get there quicker. Gotta get there. Be ready now, be ready. Good help, good help, good help, good help. Get the board. Good job, good job. We'll keep working on that throughout the year, guys. That's from a 2X standpoint. Now there's 1X, there's 2X, 3X, and 4X. So right now, for the most part, let's really working on just the 2X spot. All right? Well, let's say if you drew a line from the elbow out, that would be the 1X position. If you say we're coming from 1X,
X, I got it.
that'll be a strong side. 2X would be up top, 3X would be away, and 4X would be the low big on the weak side.
Got it.
All right, right now we're just really working on 2X. Sideline pick and roll, we talked about black earlier. We haven't been doing much of black, so right now we want to get into black. Let's just walk through it, make sure we're clear on the coverage. Steve's going to take the ball to the wing. Black, now that big has got to be up. It's got to be parallel to the sideline. He's going to be showing, come on. He's going to show, boom. You got to go under. Weak side guys coming across as the ball is skipped. And you going right to the basket then. Throw it back up top just to make sure we're clear on the coverage. Let's say the ball, Roger, get up a little bit. If the ball is skipped, you're closing back to your guy. You get into the basket as quick as possible. Weak side's got to hold for a little bit. We got to have everybody in, shrinking it till we get back, and we got to talk about it. Okay, if he's a shooter, most of the time this is a shooter who's setting the screen. When you show, he's going to be there, so you're just going to have a chance to rotate back to him.
What if we play one of those teams that like to start in and sprint out and we can't get to the black?
Good question. Listen, question. If I'm guarding the screener, Shaq is saying screen left, and this guy takes off, there's no screen.
No, this right here, where they act like they're not.
Well, you still got to go. Try to get out there as best you can and get black. Get out there. All right? Still, you're going to be able to try to do a little bit.
No, I'm saying like, okay.
All right?
Okay.
So let's go floppy fist. Floppy fist. Start up top. Floppy fist. Floppy fist. Let's just walk through it. Floppy fist. Floppy fist. Good. Swing it. Let's just swing. Let's get two pick and rolls first before we go live. So, listen, let's just get balls up top. Wait. Swing it. Another pick and roll. All right? Let's get two pick and rolls before we go live. All right? We want to black both. No, we got to get through it. We got to execute it first. Execute it.
Yes, sir.
All right? So on the help, wait just Igor. Coach. Make sure you're showing up. We're doing a good job on the black. We want to be even with that guy coming up. All right? And showing hard. Hands up. All right? Talk to him. Get up now, get up. Live now, live. Big.
Terry Porter installing his new system here in Phoenix, chatting with the big fella about terminology. We're just getting started here. We've got about an hour and a half to go. Please stay with us. We're from the U.S. Airways Center, NBA TV Real Training Camp, Phoenix Suns. NBA TV Real Training Camp rocking and rolling through the month of October. We're here at the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix covering the Suns Real Training Camp style. Rick Kamla and Eddie Johnson, happy to have you with us. The balls are bouncing. The sneakers are squeaking. There are box scores to peruse. Yes, they're playing preseason basketball around the NBA. The Suns begin their preseason schedule tomorrow here at the U.S. Airways Center against the Atlanta Hawks. And Amari Stoudemire presumably will not play in that basketball game. He's been out since last Wednesday with a serious eye injury, serious in terms of how long he has been forced to miss. You see the ranks for the team last year for Amari. Points, rebounds, field goal percentage, and all of those among the league leaders as well. Here's what happened. He got poked in the eye last Wednesday night in a scrimmage by Boris Diaw, obviously inadvertent, suffered damage to his iris, but not the cornea and not the retina. Steve Kerr said it's not serious long term. You see the goggles on his forehead right there. Amari's iris will never heal. I think will wear goggles from here on out. A doctor said he was very lucky it was not worse. And Amari has not been able to work out because it increases the blood flow and brings blood into the eye, and that's just not what he needs right now. He was re-examined yesterday and got good news. He is expected to resume working out with the team tomorrow, and Shaq has dubbed him Kareem Abdul-Amari for the goggles. And Eddie, you know, it's amazing that there aren't more eye injuries in the NBA. And, of course, Joakim Noah suffered a relatively significant eye injury with the Bulls about a week ago at the Bulls training camp. And it's unfortunate for Amari that he hasn't been able to play. But it is good news that it's not going to be a long-term thing.
Yeah, you know, for basketball players, they want to be comfortable on the court. And sometimes they avoid using the things that really you should. And a mouth guard is one. A lot of players don't wear a mouth guard, but your teeth is all you have. And those incidents happen. And then the eye. I mean, in a basketball game, those are the two areas that can sit you down for a while. And Amari, unfortunately for him, he got the finger in an eye, and he will probably have to wear those goggles for the rest of his career.
And Amari Stoudemire stopped by and chatted with us and was telling us the story and really breaking down the physiology of the eye. And I still don't really understand what he said, but the bottom line is he will be their opening night for the Phoenix Suns, you know, barring a setback or anything like that. And you see it's the right eye. You can see it's still a little bit puffy, a little bit swollen, a little bit discolored, but a heck of a lot better from where it was last week.
Yeah, and, you know, some guys you don't want to have injuries before training camp because you question if they can get themselves in shape. You know, Amari is always in shape. I mean, the guy's body is unbelievable. He stays fit. He's missed the last few training camps, and so he understands more than anybody how to come back from missing key practices during training camp. So I don't expect him to miss a beat at all. He's been down this road before, and I expect him to come out and be the same Amari Stoudemire we've seen over the last few years.
And he had an ankle injury coming into camp, so maybe this is a blessing in disguise a little bit in terms of getting off that ankle, and he should be good to go when he returns to the court. Now, for Amari Stoudemire, has missed 3 games in the past 2 seasons. This remarkable attendance after playing 3 games the year before that. So Amari Stoudemire looking good health-wise, at least boding well for opening night. Let's talk about some of the other guys, because this is an aged team when you consider Raja Bell 32, Grant Hill 36, Steve Nash 34, Shaquille O'Neal 36. Let's start with Shaq. The topic is always the weight with Shaquille O'Neal. I read, Eddie, that he's been working out with a UFC Ultimate Fighting champion and getting his weight down. How do you think he looks? He's reported to be down to 335. How do you think Shaq looks?
I think he looks good. I mean, here's a guy that's been in the league 17 years. I mean, people don't take that into effect. I mean, think about all the big guys that have come through the NBA and they're nowhere around, and they didn't play maybe no more than 6 or 7 years. Oliver Miller's one. Very talented
Michael
guy.
Olowokandi.
Yeah, they couldn't contain. This guy's played 17 years, and then people love to beat on the big dominant guy. But overall, he has been very effective, and he has taken care of his body for the most part, and he looks good right now. I mean, I think he's coming here with a mission. He promised these fans here in Phoenix that the Suns will have a chance to win a championship, and I think he thought about that throughout the whole offseason.
And Eddie, on that note, I'll give you the quote from Shaquille O'Neal. A little while ago, he said he's playing 2 more years, fulfilling his contract, and he's out. He was recently pressed on that. Are you holding to that 2-year deal? And he said, nah, it's basically 2 years, and we'll see after that. I promised the city of Phoenix something, a championship, and I got to fulfill that.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy has fulfilled his promises, no doubt about it. I mean, he went to L.A., he brought them 3. He went to Miami, he got 1, and here's his last opportunity. It's going to be a tough road, no doubt about it. With the Lakers as good as they are, New Orleans very much improved. You got a Portland Trailblazer team that's going to be a problem at the bottom part of that playoff ladder. It is not going to be an easy task for him, but this team is built with the veterans and the strength and the knowledge of knowing that you can't take anything for granted. This team is the poster team for having bad things happen to them during the playoffs, and I think they're going to go into this year understanding that.
And as if Shaquille O'Neal needed to get tougher, that UFC champ, his name is Royce Gracie. I've never heard of him, but I know some people out there who are fans of the UFC has. And Shaq has been working out over the last couple of years with Royce 4 times a week and has probably picked up some tricks of the trade from Royce Gracie as well. Bad news for the rest of the NBA. Now, Steve Kerr said earlier in the summer that they might want to limit Steve Nash games. And if the Suns, and don't take this the wrong way, if the Suns were still at the very, very top of the Western Conference, if they were an absolute lock to make the playoffs, which they were 2, 3, 4 years ago, I'd be listening to that. But with the West as good as it is, the teams are all bunched up. I mean, Tim Duncan and the Spurs, they were worried about missing the playoffs last year.
Right.
All of those end-season games were so critical. I like the idea in theory. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I don't know if they're going to have that luxury to rest Steve Nash that much.
Well, and I think Steve Kerr will look at that as well as Terry Porter, obviously, on where they are as a basketball team, where they are in terms of positioning, in terms of the playoffs. I think all of that will come into play. But I think this team also understands that winning 60 games does not guarantee a championship. They have gone that route and have been eliminated. The San Antonio Spurs are a great team in that they know how to establish rhythm. They normally get off to slow starts. They know how to pick it up, and they continue to get all the way to the big dance. So I think that's where the Suns are caught right now, and they'll figure it out. I think as the year goes along, they'll figure out how to rest Steve Nash. And the easiest way to rest Steve Nash is these point guards that's trying out for this basketball team get consistent and give him an opportunity to rest doing basketball games. I think that's key.
And you're talking about Goran Dragic. He was the second-round pick acquired from San Antonio. We'll get into his story in a little bit. And they also acquired Sean Singletary. They are the backup point guards to Steve Nash, and they're both rookies. We're taking another break. We're coming back with much, much more from the U.S. Airways Center. It's NBA TV Real Training Camp, Phoenix Suns. NBA TV Real Training Camp, Phoenix Suns rolls on from the U.S. Airways Center. Rick Hamler, Eddie Johnson here with you, getting you ready for the start of the 2008-2009 NBA season. It is wide open in terms of who's going to win the championship. I don't think there is any kind of clear-cut favorite. The Boston Celtics lose Posey. The Los Angeles Lakers don't get Ron Artest. So to me, it's just wide open, and we'll resume our conversation about the Phoenix Suns in just a moment. Let's get you back down to the practice floor.
Going down, push, push. Game point. Turnover. Why took care of the ball? No. 3-2, let's go. Give it up. Push. Go, go, go. Whites, get ready, Whites. Need two. Foul. Go. Go, go. Next bucket, next bucket. Whites on the baseline, Whites on the baseline. Come on, Lou. Let's go. Black going this way. Black going this way. White.
Where am I?
Black's going this way.
And as Terry Porter's players gasp for air, we get a little more air time. Eddie Johnson alongside Rick Camley here for NBA TV Real Training Camp. And we were talking about a couple of the 30-somethings before the break. Steve Nash and Shaquille O'Neal. Grant Hill played 70 games last year, which is somewhat remarkable given his age, given the fact that he had that stretch with Orlando where he played 47 games over a 4-year period, and he is still bothered by a hernia surgery that he had back in 2005, nearly forced his retirement. It reared its ugly head last year, kind of caught him at the worst possible time late in the season, but he does look ready to go, Eddie.
Yeah, it did. I mean, last year, Grant Hill was in tremendous shape, and for the first time in a long time, and he talked about it, he missed some games, but it wasn't basketball related. On the court, this guy is healthy as can be, and give credit to the Suns medical staff. I mean, they have notoriously gotten guys back in rhythm. Look at Amari Stoudemire. He is back to the way he's always been as a player, and Grant Hill, speed-wise, could be he's definitely the second or third fastest player on his team running the court. I mean, he has tremendous speed, and when he is getting a chance to really do his thing and open the court, I think he's a very big find for this team. But health-wise, Rick, I'm telling you, this guy is healthy. He has shown it over the last year or so, and I think the off-court injuries is what cost him last year.
Grant entering his second year with the Suns, his 14th year in the NBA, 36 years young. And I love the fact that you bring up the Suns training staff. It's one of the elite training staffs in the NBA. Think about Shaquille O'Neal. He might not have played another game for the Miami Heat last year were it not for that trade. He had the hip problems. Steve Nash had the back problems with the Dallas Mavericks. It was one of the reasons that Mark Cuban did not re-sign him, or at least give him that extra, helping him come here to Phoenix. They've done this with a lot of guys.
Yeah, they have. They understand the body. They take their time, and they work with them individually. Not to say other teams don't. I just think the Sun staff has a certain lead in that area right now in keeping guys on the basketball court and keeping them ready. And these players really believe in them, and they listen to them. And that's key as well. When you listen to the trainer and then you take advantage of the things you need to do before practice and after practice to get ready, you're going to stay on the court a lot longer, and they do.
And you think about Shaq 36, Nash 34, Hill 36. They're all still humming along at a very high level here in Phoenix. Deserves a lot of credit for that. Back to the practice court right about now.
Push, push, push.
I got first pass, Steve. Come on, man.
Back to the baseline.
That was a bad pass. I got that in my game, coach. Okay. Yes, sir.
Last time, guys. White's got it up top. White's got it. White's got it. White's got it.
Defense.
White's going this way.
You.
Near the wing, near the wing, near the wing, near the wing. White. Go. Good contest. Good contest.
Push it, push it. Bomb.
Let's go, let's go. Ball handler taking it, push. Push it, guys. Going, push. Defenders. Going down.
That's me. Stop.
Come on, White.
Turn over.
Kill you, White. Kill you. Good. Back. Go, White. On the baseline.
Way to be under control on that break, big dog. Way to be under control on that break, big dog. Be under control on that break, big dog. 1-2, pass it. Fundamental. Boom. Got that in my game, Coach Igor.
He just back down. All right, shooting groups. Shooting. 60 seconds. One dribble. 60 seconds, one dribble.
And a moment ago, we saw a nice fast break completed by Goran Dragic, the second-round pick traded from San Antonio. He'll be the backup to Steve Nash this year, and a nice little drop-off pass to Robin Lopez, who dunked it down. And these are the two coveted rookies for this team. And we take a look now at the additions and the subtractions. Matt Barnes, a veteran and a very versatile player coming over. Louis Amundsen, a young active big, and also Sean Singletary. He is the third-string point guard right now. The loss is Brian Skinner. Strawberry. Really, Skinner was the only rotation player last year, and he was in and out of the rotation at that. So when you take a look at that board, really the Suns got nothing but better. But let's talk about these rookies, starting with Dragic, who Boris Diaw has already dubbed the Dragon. Go figure.
Well, he's a point guard, and the Suns obviously need a backup point guard to Steve Nash. And is he the answer? We will find out, and I think we will get a good sign during the preseason starting tomorrow. But, he's a guy that can come in and stabilize, and they really love him in the two-man game. He controls the offense, so he has some positives there. I think where he's going to have to build his game on is defensively, no doubt about it. I mean, he has to be almost the opposite of Steve Nash. I mean, in order to keep Steve Nash on the bench, I mean, he can't be the same type of player. And I think a lot of guards that have played with Steve Nash over the last few years, Marcus Banks, maybe the most prevalent, tried to play like Steve Nash. And you can't do that. You have to give the opposite, be a good defender, be a good stabilizer, and that will win you minutes. And I think it's key for Goran.
And here are some of the details on Dragic. He was taken 45th overall by San Antonio, and this team really wanted him, the Phoenix Suns. And Steve Kerr, former San Antonio Spur, still has, connections and relationships with that front office. And they sent to San Antonio the 48th pick, Malik Hairston, plus a next year 2009 second-round pick and cash to move up to get Dragic. So they obviously like him, and they needed to move up to get him because the reports were that Joe Dumars and the Detroit Pistons were going to take him. He was not going to make it all the way back to the Suns. So they went out to get him, and they had a messy buyout scenario to go through with Tau Ceramica, his EuroLeague team. They got that resolved. He's on a 4-year contract, and how rare is that for second-round picks? The first 3 guaranteed, the 4th is a team option, but a 4-year contract for a second-round pick, that's huge.
Well, it's leverage, too. I mean, here's a guy that's over in Europe, probably could have commanded a nice dollar over there, and that obviously put the Suns in a little predicament in terms of getting him here. But, a lot of teams felt that he would have been a middle-round, first-round draft pick if he had gone, without having to go get the buyout. So, I mean, the guy had a lot of things going for him, and now it's up to him to prove that he's worthy of a 4-year contract, and he's going to get that opportunity this year to play and prove it.
2 years left on Steve Nash's contract, and Steve has said he wants to play 2 more years beyond that, so we'll see how that all shakes out and how long it takes Dragic to get up to speed here in the NBA. He's a young guy, just 22 years old, 6'4", he has good size. Now, Matt Barnes is, we don't know if Dragic is going to help him right away. The hope is that he will. We know that Matt Barnes will help this team right away. Late of the Golden State Warriors, he's with his 6th team here in his 6th season in the NBA, but this is a guy that can make plays all over the court.
Well, a lot like Raja Bell. I mean, Raja Bell had to go all over the world in order to get secure an NBA job. Going along those same lines, got his opportunity in Golden State, played with a tremendous, feisty team, and really stood out. And now he gets his opportunity to move on, and he gets to a team that needs a fit. And the fit is a guy that can defend, a guy that can knock down shots, and just be downright nasty in the hustle parts of the game. He has an opportunity to lend that, and with he and Raja Bell on the floor together, I think it can give the Suns a lot of toughness in terms of defense. And now they're trying to force the ball baseline. Well, these are 2 guys that know how to stay in front of their man and push the ball in directions that they don't want to go, and I think it's going to be huge all year long.
The Suns have lacked irritants for years. Raja Bell, obviously, we're taking a look at him right there. He is an irritant. Matt Barnes, he had a quote. He said, "Getting under people's nerves is my job." And that is music to the ears of Suns fans. Obviously, Shaq is an irritant, and Robin Lopez looks like he could be sort of a mini enforcer as well. But for Matt Barnes, there's been some talk that he could start at the 3, and they measure the minutes of Grant Hill, bring him off the bench. Boris Diaw also can play the 3. What do you see happening at small forward this year?
Well, I think Terry Porter will look at it. I think and Grant Hill would probably understand that more than anyone. I mean, this is an open competition, so to speak. It's based on how things flow. I mean, if it flows well with Matt Barnes getting a chance, then you would have to think that Terry Porter would take a look at it. But right now, Grant Hill is the starter. Matt Barnes has to look at coming off the bench and being productive and bringing energy and seeing how that goes. But I could really see during the course of the year that they might play with it and see how it works as well.
Barnes for sure will be a rotation player, no doubt about that. The minutes yet to be determined by that man, Terry Porter. And Robin Lopez and his twin brother Brooke, obviously fantastic careers at Stanford. They were drafted 5 picks apart. Brooke going 10th to New Jersey and Robin going 15th to the Phoenix Suns, and the Phoenix Suns really liked him. The reports are that when he was available at 15, the war room erupted. They were psyched to get him second all-time in shot blocking at Stanford, and that's a heck of a stat.
Well, this guy stands out because of his motor. I mean, yeah, he's 7 foot tall, but I think if he was 6'5", he would have gotten drafted because he has a tremendous motor. And in the NBA, they love guys with motors, guys that give effort, because Larry Brown's always said, you can't teach effort. And this guy has effort. So if he has any type of skill level, he can improve if he works hard. And that's what Lopez brings to Suns. I mean, he loves to work. He has tremendous athletic ability. And you can only see a tremendous upside for this young man. And I tell you what, 7 foot tall and as quick as he is, I mean, he is going to be a huge problem for a lot of teams this year when he comes off the bench.
And Eddie, let's look down the line here a little bit. I don't know if Shaquille O'Neal has ever played 82 games in his entire career, and we know that Amari can swing up to the 5. He did that beautifully for Mike D'Antoni. Obviously, Amari the 4 with Shaq in there. We know Diaw can cheat at the 5 as well. He had that huge game against Diaw a couple of years ago, but we are looking at a guy in Robin Lopez who could start a few games at center this year for the Suns.
Well, I think he will. I think it might come to that, no doubt about it. And the key is, in what you mentioned, was Amari Stoudemire not having to guard 5 men. I mean, over the last few years, he has had to do that. I don't think Amari minds a 5-man guarding him, but I don't think he likes having to go down there and bang. Now Robin Lopez on board, it gives him an opportunity to stay at his forward position and allow this young man to bang, and I will see him out there a lot. You will as well. I mean, his energy and his motor is unbelievable.
Last year, really solid numbers as a senior at Stanford. 10.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks. And, for those of you that sort of track those kind of stats, it's tough to pile up stats in a college environment. It's a shorter game. The minutes are shorter that even the rotation players play. Those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah, that's why it's so difficult to scout, because you really don't know what you're getting based on stats. You have to look at the effort, how hard they work, go before the game, actually watch them warm up, and then you can see that this guy has some potential. And he has said that he just didn't get a lot of touches in school. His brother got the touches, and he didn't get a lot of them. And now he gets an opportunity. If he gets open, he'll get a touch or two from Steve Nash, no doubt about it. He just better catch it.
A player, and that's going to fit right in with the new defensive mindset here in Phoenix. They're no longer the run-and-gun Suns. They are now the smash-mouth Suns, and we return to real training camp Sun style in just a little bit. NBA TV Real Training Camp, Phoenix Suns from the U.S. Airways Center in downtown Phoenix. Amari Stoudemire, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Amari. Thanks to the eye injury, he's going to have to wear those goggles for just a little while, but the reports are good. He should return to activity with his team tomorrow based on a report from the doctor on Monday. But we'll get more on Amari and everything. The man seated to my right, Steve Kerr. That's Eddie Johnson. I'm Rick Hammond. We welcome you back to Phoenix. Steve, it is fantastic to have you here on the broadcast, and thanks for letting us in the gym.
Well, we're happy to have you here. We got a lot of work going on behind us, and I know you guys have discussed the Suns at length. We're going to have an interesting season.
It is going to be an interesting season, and Steve is the GM and president of basketball operations for this team, entering his second year in that dual role. And let's just start at the top with the biggest decision you made over the summer to bring in your former teammate with the San Antonio Spurs, Terry Porter, and really just change the whole face of the team from Mike D'Antoni and run and gun and offense to Terry Porter, grind it out, and smash mouth defense.
Well, we don't want to change entirely. I mean, we didn't feel like we needed a 180-degree turn. We still want to run and get up and down the floor, but we'd like to have some balance to our team, a little bit more defense, a little more depth. We felt like we addressed those issues personnel-wise over the summer. We should be able to play more people. And Terry's just somebody I've always had great respect for. Mike did a terrific job for 4 years here and leaves a legacy that's going to be tough to replace. But I just feel like Terry's the right guy to continue the success that we've had and hopefully to add to it.
After 5 days of training camp, I spoke with Terry before practice, and he was laughing about the fact he had the guys doing defensive slides and things of that nature. And I guess the culture of the team has to change with Terry. How's that gone so far?
I think it's gone well. I mean, it's going to be a transition for sure, and we're going to have some bumps in the road. Amari and Leandro Barbosa have not practiced at all yet. So that's going to be tough because those are probably the two guys who needed this training camp more than anybody. It may take us a little while to get going, but I feel very comfortable with the foundation that Terry is laying out for us. Our guys are responding in a very positive way, and I think we'll have, as I said, a good balance. I think we'll still push the ball and score some points, but I'd like to think that we can get better defensively and that we've got the talent to do so.
Steve, you mentioned Amari and Leandro. Let's take them one by one. Give us an update on the eye for Amari, and will he return to workouts with the team? Might he even play in the game tomorrow night against the Atlanta Hawks, the preseason opener? And then Leandro, obviously his mother is ill. He has returned back to Brazil, and our hearts go out to the entire Barbosa family on that. Just updates on those two guys.
Well, Amari will practice tomorrow. He was recovering from a sprained ankle a couple of weeks ago and missed the first few days of camp. Was ready to come back, got poked in the eye probably a week ago now. So it's been a tough go for him, but he will be back tomorrow. He wanted to practice today. We didn't feel comfortable throwing him out there yet. No way will he play in a game for at least a week, maybe more, because he's got to get his conditioning level back to where it needs to be before he's out there on the floor. As far as LB, we have been thinking about him throughout camp. He's with his mother, who's really struggled. She's in Brazil. It's a very serious situation, and we told Leandro just to take as much time as he needs. We've been in contact with him on a daily basis, and we'll just see what happens. But he'll stay in Brazil until he needs to get back and until he knows his family is okay.
With the injuries and the situations with Leandro, it gives you an opportunity to watch some guys that you brought in, some young guys. Who has stood out so far?
Well, Orlando Tucker was the high scorer in our scrimmage the other night, really shot the ball well from the perimeter. Leandro's absence has given Orlando a chance to play, which has been important because he didn't play much last year, and we'd like to see what he has. A couple of the other young guys, Lou Amundsen is a high-energy big man who can really change the game. He's played very well throughout camp. And then Matt Barnes also has come in and given us a lot of energy. And Matt's a guy who has a chance to play some minutes for us this year and give us a big boost because of his versatility. So overall, we just like our depth. We feel like we've added enough players on the bench to make a big difference this year.
Steve, talk about the two draft picks, and we know that Dragic was acquired in a trade with your buddies with the San Antonio Spurs, and you really went out of your way to get this young Slovenian lefty, 22 years old, has a bright future ahead of him, and we saw he and Lopez collaborate on a dunk during a drill a moment or two ago. Just a word or two about these two guys. Well,
they're both very talented. I think both have bright futures, but they are rookies. They're going to go through a major transition period trying to understand the league, and for Robin, he's had to go against Shaq every day of training camp.
Is that good news or bad news?
Well, it's bad for Robin right now because he's struggled, especially when he gets the ball on the block. But it's good because he won't go against anybody bigger and stronger than Shaq, and he knows that. So he's getting a good education, as is Goran, because Goran is playing against Steve Nash every day. Both guys will struggle a little bit with their confidence early as they become adjusted to the league. And who knows how much they'll contribute this year. I'd like to temper the expectations a little bit, but there's no question we believe both have great futures ahead of them.
Well, we got exhibition season starting this week, and including the outdoor game at the end. What's your outlook for those coming up?
Well, we're excited. We've got 3 games in the next 4 nights, and I know our guys are ready to play. Camp is getting old, but the exhibition game at Indian Wells is going to be phenomenal. I mean, it's going to be an amazing setting. Outdoors, we're billing it as Suns Under the Stars, first outdoor game the NBA's had in 20 or 30 years, I think. It'll be a really neat spectacle. We're very proud of the work our organization has put into it to prepare for it. And it's going to be a lot of fun, not only just to see this team coming together, but to see it in a pretty spectacular setting.
Well, all of these guys grew up playing outside, so I don't want to hear any excuses about the wind or anything like that.
I don't think we're going to have chain nets, though. We're sticking with the nylon.
And that game will be broadcast on TNT. And, of course, you went from TNT to the front office. And, for a lot of basketball fans, Steve, that was bad news because you did such a great job rocking the mic with Marv and everybody at TNT. But now, of course, getting your own team. And I know you're excited about that opportunity. And talk about how challenging it is and just the difference in your lifestyle and how it's all changed being the GM and president of basketball operations here in Phoenix.
Well, after working with Marv Albert, anything's easy now. So, Marv was so tough to work with. I love my time at TNT and working with the whole crew there. And this is a totally different job, obviously a challenge that's not easy. And I didn't expect to go through much of that stuff that I went through my first year. But this league changes in a hurry. You look at where the Lakers were a year ago in training camp to being in the finals, 8 months later. Who could have guessed that? So the league changes, and you've got to adapt and be ready. And I feel much more prepared now in my second year, with a year's experience under my belt.
Well, Steve, you're a classy guy. This is a classy franchise, and we're happy to have you here with us. And thanks for the access. Let's get your team healthy and go out there and win some games.
All right, thanks, Rick. Thanks, Eddie.
That is Steve Curry as the GM and president of basketball operations for the Phoenix Suns. We appreciate him joining us here. Eddie and I return with much more from the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix in just a moment. Stay right where you are.
Work now, work. Spacing. Oh for one.
I saw you, Grant. I saw you, Grant.
Light ball on top.
My bad. My bad. Tanner.
Light on top. 45 fists. 45 fists. Good. Matt, you gotta be ready to go quicker, Matt. That's your cup. You gotta go quicker. 45 fist twist. Fist twist. Wait now. Wait. Patience. Spacing. Good.
That's it. Come on, Cartwright. Come on,
White. 2-3.
My mom, Coach Cartwright.
2-3.
My mom, Coach.
Twist stack. Get down, Colin. Twist stack. Wait. Single double. Back. Let's walk through that. 45 twist stack. Here we go. Black. 45 twist stack. Watch that. Walking through it.
Yeah, but they blew it, so we didn't get to it.
All right. Coming off. Down to a single double. All right? Yes. They blew it. All right. Yep.
White ball. 4 for 5. Blew it.
You just play.
5 for 5.
You can't just. Yeah. I mean, if he pops, ideally, I'd like for you to just go wide and get over it.
Coach Marley.
If you got to take it bigger, just get. Yeah. All right. White's ball. Black's 4 out of 5. White. Here we go.
Yeah, I got it.
45.
Yeah.
Straight 45.
Move. That's not you, Grant.
You got to start taking it down deeper.
Get up! Don't happen.
Come on. Ball's got to be right here.
Stay with the shooter.
Take it deeper. Take it deeper.
That's Dirk. That's all.
All right.
I get it. Yeah, I got it.
45 fists. 45 fists. 0-1, White. 0-1. There you go.
Yeah. That's my track. I got that too, guys. I'm here. By yourself. Red, no red.
Play it, play it.
Get that, yes. No, come on, Tom. You know what I'm saying?
White, slow down, have better patience. Make sure you wait till that guy cuts baseline before you throw the ball in the post. Right? 45 fist twist. 45 fist twist.
My track. My track.
Good job. Way to come across, G. Good job, Shaq. Good job.
That's why I come get you. Make sure they don't drop off on the dunk for ESPN.
Come on.
Here we go, White. Here we go. By yourself. Move, Grant.
45 dive. 45 dive. Dribbling toward it. Go, dive. Stagger double.
That's me. That's my touch.
Go get him. Go get him.
By yourself.
Foul. Okay. First foul. Second foul's automatic bucket.
5 possessions, ain't it?
Foul. Yeah, it's a single double. Okay. Run that again. Went to that the other day. 45 dive.
My track. I'm here. Oh, get up there.
Play it. White ball, last possession, White.
You on my own. You gotta be. All right, no problem.
45.
I'm gonna get him
45.
My track.
White's on the baseline.
Last pass, man, my fault.
Black ball, White's on D. You're doing sideline now. Sideline, 5 possessions again. Let's go. Come on, White. Just dive. Single double. Yeah, he just points at the dive. There you go. Back at half. Sideline. You up, Boris. Slice. Step in, guys. It doesn't have to be a 3. There's nobody there. Side, listen. Hold on. Point. Wait till you get there. Dive. Run dive in.
Oh! Hang on, goddammit. Come on. Good pass.
Guys, listen. He's up here and we're trying to run something and they really denying this. Just run dive. Just dive him. All right? We don't need to fight. We don't want him to keep being denied and we go further and further out. Just deny him. All right? Just dive him right out. Dive fist. Third possession. Dive fist.
Block.
Wide open. Catch it, boom. First look, boom. Right there in the corner. Wide open. Right? We did have a tip on that though, TP. Before you stop it, you tip it in.
I ain't playing. You make them respect your jump.
Now you get another possession. Another possession. Just another possession. Just another possession.
I said what? What I do? What I do?
Pick him up. Is he called black? Work on black. Black and everything. Highs inside.
Hey, hit that dog. Oh, black? Yeah, Philly.
Punch! 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 Spacing, dive! Good. Good job. Stop.
Draw and kick it, big dog.
Dribble out. Oh, take that. Take it.
I know, Coach Martin.
Last possession.
My bad.
Flex. Good job, Black. 2 for 5. Wise ball.
Nice feed right there. 36-year-old Shaq to the 36-year-old G. Hill for 2. We're at the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix. It's NBA TV Real Training Camp Phoenix Suns. We're not done yet. Come on back for much, much more. NBA TV Real Training Camp Phoenix Suns from U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, where tomorrow night the Phoenix Suns will be hosting the Atlanta Hawks, the first of 3 preseason games for these Phoenix Suns in a 4-game period, and that's just the way they like it and just the way we like it, because NBA B-ball is back. And a couple of games upcoming for the Phoenix Suns on TNT. On Saturday the 11th, they will be playing against Denver at Indian Wells Tennis Garden, and then Thursday the 30th of October, they'll be playing the New Orleans Hornets on TNT. Taking a look at Steve Nash and the hotly competitive position that is the point guard position in the West. Nash, Paul, Williams, Kidd, Parker, Davis. We don't have room to put Allen Iverson on that board as a 1/2. I mean, every single night it's warfare at the 1 in the Western Conference.
And credit Steve Nash and I think Tony Parker for forcing teams to go that route. I mean, let's face it. I mean, these 2 guys for the last few years have been the catalyst for 2 of the best teams in the NBA. And back-to-back MVPs. You know, the NBA is a trend league, and once they realize that a point guard can be dominant again, a small point guard at that, every team now has gone that route. Now, let's face facts. I mean, New Orleans and Utah, they got gems. I mean, Paul and Darren Williams, they're going to be 2 of the best point guards in the history of this league before it's all said and done with. And I would not be surprised to see either one of those guys win MVP this year. That's just how good they are.
And since we're on that subject, and we take a look at some of the statistics for Steve Nash, obviously superlative and somewhat shocking that the first time in a long time did not lead the league in assists. You know, his run 3 straight years as the assist king in the NBA, that came to an end last year at the hands of Chris Paul. And these guys are forever going to be linked. Chris Paul and Darren Williams drafted right next to each other on the U.S. Olympic team. Paul, gets to the All-Star game before Darren Williams. Hard to believe D. Will is not yet an All-Star. Will be this year. But who do you like better? Who do you think is going to have the better career between these guys, Paul and Williams?
Well, you shouldn't ask me that because I'm an Illinois guy. Okay, and so I have to stay true to my brotherhood, Illinois. But you know, these guys are apples and oranges. I mean, Paul and Darren Williams are apples and oranges. I can't compare those two. I mean, they're very similar, and then they're different in a lot of ways. I mean, Darren Williams a little bit stronger, you know, can take you down inside and do damage there as well. Maybe a better outside shooter just by a little bit over Chris Paul. But Chris Paul is one of the toughest guards I have ever seen since Isaiah Thomas. I hate to compare players to other players because we have gone through that stretch of trying to do it. But I think we hit home here. I mean, we really hit home on Chris Paul and Isaiah Thomas. I mean, those two guys are so alike.
And Steve Nash, the resume is absolutely unbelievable. You see, teams have led the NBA in scoring in each of the last 7 seasons. That dates back to the Dallas Mavericks, and he is the key to that, obviously. This is a 6-time All-Star, 2-time MVP. In the year 2 straight, he was the runner-up in MVP voting, 3-time All-NBA first team. He is 5th all-time in three-point percentage at 43, 11th all-time in assists per game at 7.9. Total assists, he's 15th all-time, and in terms of free throw shooting, 3rd all-time at 897. You are looking at a Hall of Famer.
He's unbelievable. I mean, the 2 years he won MVP, and you had some people that say no way he should win it. And my argument to them, look, if Steve Nash wanted to average 28 points a game, he could. Because he's one of the best scorers in the game, especially shooting the basketball. He creates space, he knows how to get open, and it's based on his ability to pass the basketball. Teams are so afraid that he's going to get a layup that they give him his shot, and that's the reason why he should have been MVP. And again, this year he's going to score a lot more. I truly believe it. I think in this offense, slowing it down, he's going to have tremendous energy now and not having to dribble and create for guys, that his shot is going to be on. And I wouldn't be surprised if he shot 52% this year.
I understand. And, the scoring was down after Shaq got here in the second half last year. But according to Eddie Johnson, the numbers going back up for Steve Nash in 08-09. And we go back to the court.
Good pass. White's ball. Sub in. Subs. Come on, man. Fist up, 15. Fist up, 15. Good, Grant. Stay here. Sideline motion. Up top. Okay. Spacing. Wait. Foul.
First pass.
Here we go, White. .45. To the wing. Hold on, Steve. Now run it. Go. Touch on the weak. Nobody tagging on the weak side. Both of you guys got a tag. Hey, listen. When this has happened right away, you guys can invert. We don't ever want our smalls to be down low. You invert. Boom. You right here. He cuts back. We got 2 tags. You can be at the nail. All right? 45. Hold on, Steve. Hold on. Shot straight. Good. Don't reach. Go. Push. Good, Chuck, get out there. Fist up, fist up, fist up. Talk to him. Charge, going down.
Man, you need one. Slide.
Stay here. Black's ball. Luke punch. Luke punch. Luke punch. Wait now, wait. Wait. Stay right there. Pin down. Give it to him again. Move. Go. Push it. Good job. Good job, Dwight. Going down. Drag. Swing.
You got me? You got me? Okay, well, I missed something.
All right, everybody on free throws. Get 7 free throws. 7 makes. 7 free throws. Let's go. 7 free throws. Pass it down. 7 free throws. Cowboy.
Hey, I don't miss him down there, Chappie. I don't miss him.
And we have reached the portion of the show when Boris Diaw enters the conversation, and he won Most Improved Player in the NBA a couple of years ago, and but ever since Amari has come back and been healthy, that man right there, the stats have not been what they were when Amari was hurt, and he didn't finish the season the way he would have liked or the way the Suns would have liked, and he's really looking for a rebirth and a rejuvenation of his career here under Terry Porter, and he's got a new due, so maybe he's on the right track.
Yeah, and I told him to keep it. He had talked about getting rid of it, but Boris Diaw can be the most talented player on this team. He has tremendous tools. A lot of people don't realize his vertical jump. Even with Sean Marion on the team last year, I heard his vertical was higher. I mean, it's nothing that he cannot do on the basketball court. For him, it's all between the ears, and I've seen it. I mean, I've had 200 teammates in my career in the NBA, and you see guys that's very talented, and you try to wonder why they can't get over the hump and get to the next step. And I think the challenge for Boris Diaw this year, obviously with the leadership of Mari Stoudemire and Shaquille O'Neal and Steve Nash, is to push himself to the limit of being that guy that I think eventually should be an all-star in this league. He has those type of tools, and a lot of pressure will be put on him this year by Terry Porter. He's going to expect a lot, and don't be surprised to see him maybe punished a little bit this year by minutes taken away, maybe not getting the opportunity that he normally used to getting, just maybe to send a message to him that he's so valuable to this basketball team. And if he steps up and plays like he's capable, I mean, the Suns will be very difficult to beat.
Is he too laid back?
I don't know if he's too laid back. I just think some players just take what you give them. I played with a guy in Derek McKee who I thought could have been an all-star every year, but Derek was a guy that just took the back seat to other guys. I don't think it's in his personality. It's just he tries to play the game the right way. He tries to see things, and he does see things differently than most players do. And a lot of times it gets him in trouble. And just doing the Eddie Johnson way, just shoot it.
Right.
Just be aggressive and just go shoot it, and don't worry about that maybe a guy was open or you should have went left but you went right. Those are the things I think that get Boris Diaw in trouble. And if he can find a way to shake that part of his game, he'll be a very good player.
And indecision is not an issue with Raja Bell. He is a full-throttle player. He is a get-under-your-skin type of player, and he can just knock down that outside shot. And, you look at his age, 32 years old and doing I would have said 29. I mean, it just does not feel like he's 32, but it's not like he's aging. He's still a primetime player in terms of being a complementary player in the NBA. Very valuable to this team.
And he went the road that I wish a lot of guys would have to go. You don't get it right away. You have to go to Europe. You have to play in the CBA and learn to appreciate the game. That's the one thing I do envy about baseball, and that those guys have to go through it before they get there. And Raja Bell went the baseball route. I mean, he had to fight his way into this league, and he got up with Philadelphia, got to a championship series. They lost, and he got to Utah and put up very good numbers for Jerry Sloan, got the attention of everyone. And he has taken off ever since then. A tremendous leader, a guy that brings it every night, a feisty guy. And he's a guy that Terry Porter's going to have to maybe try to reel in at times because his emotion can get the best of him at times. But I think it's good for this team. No
question. Emotions have gotten in the way a little bit for Raja Bell, but he is a defensive-minded two-guard, and obviously there's a lot of sensational two-guards in the West, and Terry Porter's going to be relying on that man to get this defense going here in Phoenix. We're coming back to wrap up our coverage of Phoenix Suns training camp on NBA TV right after this. Thanks for staying with us here. It's NBA TV, Real Training Camp. Phoenix Suns Amari, a.k.a. Kareem Abdul-Amari, dubbed that by Shaquille O'Neal. The good news on his eye, it's not going to be a long-term issue, but it is keeping him out of the contact drills and most of the drills in practice. But Amari getting out there and moving and grooving a little bit, and as you can see, he is as svelte as ever. Amari, one of the best conditioned players in the entire NBA. Rick Hamlin and Eddie Johnson here to wrap up our coverage of the Phoenix Suns training camp. And, first, what did you see out there? What did you like today? Did you like the tenor? Did you like the focus? Did you like the intensity?
Yeah, I saw organization to the point defensively what this team needs. I mean, right away, Terry Porter got with it defensively. That's a focus this year, is to concentrate early and often on defense, get them in rhythm. And I saw the ability also of trying to get the ball into that dominant individual in Shaquille O'Neal. This offense will be directed around he and Amari Stoudemire, and I think this is good.
Everybody looks good here in practice, but I thought Shaq looked great out here. The guy's 36 years old, and he just looks ready to have a big season.
Again, I think he's reported in shape. I think he is determined to move on this year. His ex-team, the LA Lakers, everyone considers the best team, and Shaq, he loves to take a challenge at hand, and I look for him to come out this year and be a force. I really do, and I think this team has acclimated themselves to him as well, and I thought that was a problem when he first got here. I saw guys that really weren't used to throwing the ball in the post. This team wasn't built around that, and now a good preseason, a good early season with Shaquille is going to be huge.
And speaking of the devil,
get up. That's your mic right there.
No, but I want you to slide over there. Appreciate it.
Well, let me have this mic.
No, I want this mic.
He want my mic.
No, you get this mic. No, you get this mic. I want you to have this mic.
Here. Hold up. Hold up. You got it?
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, you don't like to be in the middle, is that it?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
If you put him in the middle, what cookie do we got? Just asking. If you put him in the middle, what cookie do we have?
A delicious cookie.
Yeah, Oreos. I haven't eaten any in a while, but Oreos.
Well, this man obviously needs no introduction. Shaq, thanks for joining the broadcast. You look good out there, big man.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I've been in here 16, 17 years, so, it's just fun to be out here doing what I love to do. Only got a couple left, so I'm going to have fun with it. And, Robin is a pretty good addition to his team. We'll teach him all I know and, see how far we can go.
You've had a number of coaches, and here's another change for you. What have you seen so far in Terry Porter's mentality on the court and what he's looking for?
I mean, he's fair. And, he obviously knows what he's talking about. But, he's the president. He runs the Pentagon. I'm the general, so he's going to hand the orders down to me. It's going to be my job to get everybody playing at a high level. So, coaches only do so much. It's actually the players that go out there and get it done. So, like I said, he's Obama. I'm the general, and I just got to, make sure that the guys are playing at a high level.
Talk about your conditioning and the work you've done with the UFC champ Royce Baracey over the last couple of years, and do you like where your weight's at right now?
Yeah, I mean, I never really had a weight problem. Last time I had a weight problem was I think I was winning my 3rd championship, and I was actually ordered to take it easy, playing so late into the season. But as we all know, we lost in the 1st round, had a lot of time off, was in my Shaq 24-hour fitness, doing cardio, doing my Michael Phelps swing workout, been working out with a guy named John Burke, Orlando Gracie's best friend of mine. And, it's just, different kind of training, because for me, there's a lot of wrestling out there anyway, so I have to be in wrestling shape as well as basketball shape. So, I have no excuses. I'm feeling pretty good. About 3:30, 3:35. Just ready to come in and just lead the guys further than we did last year.
It has to be good for you too, coming in now with training camp, because when you came over last year, I think you encountered some guys that weren't used to throwing the ball in the post. Timing wasn't there. Now with Terry Porter changing the offense, now inside out, it gives you a little bit more comfortability in there, and it seems like guys are finding their way now.
It's now that everyone's on the same page. Last year I came in during the last part of the book, and didn't want to do too much, and was just really out there. Would have been a hell of a Cinderella story for us to get it done, but usually when you have the type of players we have, at least it takes a year to get ready, a la Boston, or it takes a couple years. And but I feel we have what it takes, 1 through 12, 1 through 14. We just got to go get it done. You gotta have a lot of consistency, got to be injury free, and you got to have a lot of luck. I realize I have 4 championships, but at least 3 of my championships, one play, if it didn't go our way, who knows what could happen. Robert Ory, Sacramento, Derek Fisher, the .04. Us doing what we did to Dallas and Miami. So it's all about consistency. It's all about being in the right place at the right time, and it's about a little bit of luck.
Shaq, you said earlier in the summer you're going to fulfill the last 2 years on your contract, and then you're out, and recently you sort of backed off that a little bit. What are you talking about?
Basically, I was looking at my contract business style, sort of like a lease. When you take care of business, you always know when your lease is up. So, basically I was saying I have 735 days left in Phoenix. There's no need to wait. Let's try to get something done now. After those 735 days, whatever's out there, either take advantage of those options. But, you have to realize the type of player I've been my whole career. If I can't play at a certain level, then I'll just have to, do what I got to do.
And that's right, and that's key. It's about your body. If your body feels good, then you might tack on 2 more.
Yeah, but I didn't say that like I'm retiring. I'm just saying I got 735 days left on this Phoenix lease, and then we'll see what happens after that. Maybe I'll go be president, general manager for the Orlando Magic, something like that. You like that? I threw that out there?
Oh, I do. Yeah. No doubt. I'll send you my resume.
Yeah.
Shaq, you're a former MVP. You're going to the Hall of Fame. Steve Nash is a 2-time former MVP. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Well, what's it like playing with Nasty?
Nash is a great player. I really haven't had the full effect yet. His game, but he's really so good that sometimes, like last year, I missed a couple passes that I really wouldn't miss, but that's because he's so good that he shakes a person. You think he's going to shoot it, and he drops off at the last second. So you really have to be ready for his passes. He's an unselfish player, great guy, glad to be here, and just want to help him get one.
I tend to think, too, that you're going to help him a lot, because it's going to take so much pressure off of Steve having to create every time down the court. Now you can use his shooting ability, which I think he's probably the best shooter in the game. Now he gets a chance to get shots from you instead of him having to get you opportunity. I
agree. I told him last year, when you kick it in, if your guy turns his head, just go to an open spot, I'll throw it to you. I've always been known as a very unselfish passer, so, I'll get it to him, and he'll, do what he does.
Shaq, I want to go off the beaten path here for a second. Last year, Dwight Howard wins the Slam Dunk Championship, basically with the Superman dunk, and now he's considered Superman, whereas for years, you were Superman. You have the tattoo to prove it. What are your thoughts on that? Did you pass the mantle on to Dwight? Did he take it from you, or what?
I didn't pass the mantle, and he can't take anything from me until he does more than I've done. He can be my son if he wants to, but I'm the first, I'm the last. If he wants to use it, it's fine with me. Let's be serious. Warner Brother owns it. They own it. I've always liked Superman because my name starts with S. My name didn't be, but he's a good, exciting player. But I don't worry about that. But if you know anything about the comic book world, Superman passed away and came back as 7 different Supermen. So if he wants to be a young Superman, he can. But he has to realize that he has to do way more than me, the original son of Jor-El.
I hear that. Well, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah.
He's got at least 4.
Yeah, at least 4. At least 4.
What about Lopez? I mean, he's a young player, 7-footer, motor.
He's 20 years old. He's young. He's playing with me. He's playing with Amari. We're going to teach him everything we know, and one day it's going to be his. So he's a great guy. He listens, very intelligent man, and I'm glad he's here. This is actually my first time having a real backup. John Sally was my former backup, but he's killing John Sally.
Somewhere Samaki Walker is blushing too, Shaq.
Who? Who? Oh, Samaki, my boy Samaki. My bad. What up, Samaki?
Shaq, you said that you made a promise to the city. You did that to Miami. You made the promise. You backed it up with a chip. You made a promise to the city of Phoenix. You've had a half year. You didn't get it done. You got 2 years left.
So basically it's 2 years for me to get one. And I actually have what it takes. Like I said early, injury-free, consistent, and a lot of luck. The Western Conference is probably the toughest conference in basketball, but, we match up pretty well with all the teams out there. And I know what it takes for us to get there. Steve knows what it takes to get there, so we just got to, lead our guys. It's all up to us. And I've been realizing my whole career that if we don't get it done, it's all being put on my shoulders. And I accept that as the general. I always accepted that. I'll never run from that.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
4-time NBA champion, 14-time All-Star. He's going to the Hall of Fame one day, but his playing days are far from over. He's still got at least 2 years left. Shaq, we appreciate you joining us here.
I got one more thing to say. The shot that you took in Houston, I went back on the instant replay. The red buzzer was on. So the shot really don't count. No, I'm telling you, I went back with the editing system, and the red dot came on before the ball was released. So the shot and the little dance you did, it don't count.
It's just unbelievable to you to know that I'm that quick. That's all.
Doesn't count.
All right.
Shaq, thank you very much. The great Shaquille O'Neal, the godfather of our beloved NBA, joining us here at Real Training Camp Phoenix Suns style, and that was a rare treat, my man.
Yes. He loves basketball. He loves talking, and I get to see this all the time on the plane. It's still another part of him that people really don't get to see. I mean, we don't see the spontaneous raps that he'll stand up and do while the plane's in the air. That's classic.
Well, he's a multi-talented individual. We saw the breakdancing at All-Star a couple of years ago. We know he can rap. We know he can act. We know he's a CEO. Right. What can Shaq do?
Well, yeah, I think what he wants to do is what he said. Bring this team a championship here. This organization has never had one, but it's been one of the most classiest organizations in the NBA, and it'll be a great way for him to go out.
No question about that, and the good news is for the NBA, at least 2 years left from Shaquille O'Neal, at least on his lease here with the Phoenix Suns. And with that, we wrap up our coverage here from Phoenix. Eddie, it's been wonderful meeting you and hanging out with you. That is Eddie Johnson, one of the best shooters in NBA history, and he's got a big basketball brain as well. For Eddie and our entire NBA TV crew, I'm Rick Hamlet signing off from Phoenix and U.S. Airways Center. We'll see you again on Thursday from the Denver Nuggets facility in Colorado. Take it easy, everybody.